Ah, nothing quite like the salty sea air to get you in the mood for adventures, eh? Yep, we're back. More Pokemon Leaf Green, and as you may have noticed, a bit of a new overlay, courtesy of Vixie in the chat. Much appreciated once again. Before we get started on our quest for the next new adventure, new badge and whatnot, there's a little bit of spring cleaning I have to do beforehand. Also, not certain whether or not this overlay plays well with the filters I often use. So let me know if it's a bit too much. Anyways, first things first, gotta get myself this fishing rod. I'm not gonna be using it. It's just for later, so I can potentially just get myself a goldfish if I want. Actually, that's a very good question now that I think about it. Can you actually get anything other than Magikarp with the old rod? This Pokemon game could write. Yeah, it's like at long last, we finally get to a good Pokemon game. Admittedly, one where there's basically hardly any story. The Urge to battle somebody tangled before. You've had that urge? Now we get the good stuff. Now we get the Versus Seeker. This is going to be very useful in future. So they actually give you an option to grind out levels, which is somewhat balanced. Which isn't just like throwing a bajillion like candies at your feet and being like, you know what? Just have fun. Like, what's that? You've hit the level cap already? I'm sure it'll be fine. One thing I also kind of forgot here is that we immediately have access to Diglett's Cave, which means we get access to our third party member. Way better than too much story or bad story, maybe too much bad story. Well, we'll see, we'll see. Controller's acting up again. Yeah, I got myself an Abra. It's a fairly decent Abra, but unfortunately, if you know what's coming up, then you know its ultimate fate. First, we need to traverse the Diglett's Cave and hope we don't come across the level 30 Dugtrio waiting to gank us in here. Like a Xenoblade boss. It's not just the usual level 19s, hopefully it stays that way. I mean, compared to how I've leveled my Pokemon already, we're actually sort of on equal pegging. I'm not sure why I decided to go with that particular phrasing, but yeah, it's like we're at the level we're supposed to be, not too over level, not too under level. So it's with fate, so I don't have to turn to Alakazam unless you have something for that. No, unfortunately, I don't have any means of evolving into Alakazam. But if you know this game, then you probably know why I have an Abra. It will make sense once we get through this cave. I suppose some extra speed on Farfetch'd wouldn't be too bad. Again, did a little bit of leveling off screen, just enough so my Pokemon are sort of at the level they quote-unquote should be for what comes next. Let's get Nidoking some experience as well. I'm fairly certain he'll do perfectly fine against all the ground types in here. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, everyone. But just you wait and see. We're gonna get that level 28 Dugtrio spawn. Just you wait. It's gonna appear and it's gonna be horrible. Also, yeah, in the meantime, in terms of leveling, Mr. Nido found out that he has a quite a bit of a like for thrash music. Meanwhile, Farfetch'd has become a pilferer of bootleg goods, as you can probably see by his moveset. Sunka. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, he's big into the reselling of counterfeit goods. He's all about them bootleg copies of Pokemon. All about them bootleg cards. All about that bootleg everything, really. Well, admit, I feel as though I'm really pushing my luck down here with every single random encounter I get. Actually, what am I thinking? I'm fairly certain I got some repels, didn't I? Let's have a look. I got some Munties, so yeah, got some repels. It should be enough to ward off everything except the Dugtrio. You see, it's perfectly fine. Now just have to do that another couple of times and we're golden. Oh, it's like being flashbanged with green coming out of that cave. Yeah, we're gonna come in here, and we're gonna get finally a third party member. Also, yes. I really do kind of feel bad for Mr. Mime, to be perfectly honest with you, because it's just... There's never any reason to use this. It's like... Even in this game, you'd probably be better off using Kadabra. And in the later games where it gets fairy typing, it's like... Why would you ever use it over something like God of War, Tapu Lele? This is probably going to be a bit of a hot take, but honestly, I kind of wish that Mr. Mime got a Mega Evolution. It seems like one of those like kooky Pokemon that some deserves one, alongside stuff like Electivire, Magmortar, and a supposed third evolution for Jinx, which I still wish happened. I'm gonna dedicate spread. Look at that! Yes! Wow! 2004 technology! We have wireless trading! Let's use moves like Cut, so in which case, let's get Mr. Mime up front so they can learn some moves. Also comes with Intimidation and Soundproof. Okay, I kind of forgot it actually just came with Substitutes. That should be surprisingly quite useful, I feel. You know, okay, so it's like I can put Calm Mind on it, I can put Substitutes. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. You know, just, you know, Calm Mind, Baton Pass, just have it basically enable the entirety of the rest of my team. Anyways, Mr. Mime's about to die to this Diglett. I have faith in you. See? You can tank some damage. And look at that, Soundproof also coming in handy. So Mega Mr. Mime will be Mr. Mime, these stuff is an invisible cube, so it's just Mr. Cube. It's like you merely adopted the cube, he was born in it. Still smile? Yeah! Just giving you that overly menacing smile. You know, payback for getting killed in a gas fire in Detective Pikachu. That's just like one of the most out-of-pocket moments I remember of that movie, them just interrogating a Mr. Mime by just miming pouring gasoline on it. And then just accidentally dropping a match on it. It's like, only through miming can you get away with showcasing something like that. Like, if really not even the Dark Knight would have showcased something like that. I mean, it got close at the very least, but I don't think it would have gone outright the same way as was implied in Detective Pikachu. Not everybody really didn't like Pokemon art style for that one, but I do kind of wish we got, like, an actual movie in that setting. You know, actually following a proper trainer and whatnot, as opposed to just being a tie-in to side game, which I am sort of wondering how many people actually play Detective Pikachu, because I haven't actually heard that much with regards to how people think about the first game. I know people didn't like the second game. Most I know about Detective Pikachu mostly comes from the funny haha corruptions video where Pikachu gets hanged. So one of the better moments in that movie was a movie with quite a few good... Yeah! It is kind of weird because it feels as though in terms of like video game tie-ins, it is sort of one of the better ones, but it just got completely obliterated in the wake of the Sonic movies, which is just so strange to me. It's like, I would have personally expected it to be the other way around. Game like Detective Beach was crushing his face down the ground. He was like, yeah, I think that's the one move I'm thinking about, where he gets thrown up into the Ferris wheel from Chernobyl and just gets hanged there. I mean, obviously, I'm guessing there's more to the game than that, but that's all that I know. I don't think that's quite the legacy the developers behind that game were envisioning. I can only assume. Just for it to be this absolutely trippy, nightmare-fueled mess. Not sure if Repel's actually going to do much out here, but I want to do it nonetheless. Alright, let's see. Do we get the Dug Trio? No, it's just a... you know, it's a fairly tough, Diglett. Just thinking as well. This is before stuff like, Hyper Voice was able to hit through Substitute, so I'm imagining in later games, just having Substitute on Mr. Mime and Baton Pass is a fairly solid choice in terms of movesets. Yeah, it does feel kind of bad that's like the only thing Mr. Mime is good at, just doing Baton Pass stuff, which I'm fairly certain most people just have straight out deemed as a banned tactic because of how overpowered it gets. I think for now, I'm just going to put, let's put Farfetch'd up front. He's less likely to get one-shot by a trio. I'm just assuming that the level 28 Duck Trio is still down here. Maybe that's just in, red and blue. Again, it's just like being flashbanged. You know, one thing has immediately come to mind, which I think I forgot to mention in, Rock Tower being blocked by a sleeping Pokemon, detour from Rock Tower from Labyrinth Town, Vermilion Polis. Yeah, one thing that immediately has sort of come to mind when thinking about these old games is that a lot of people I grew up around who also got into Pokemon, I noticed that that most, if not all of them, basically just stopped playing around Black and White. And part of me wants to think that it's mostly down to the fact that it was just all new Pokemon in there with none of the old ones, which just sort of alienated a lot of people, which is what, if the Giga League's anything to go by, is what we could be led to expect. At the same time, I can't help but wonder, between basically the Game Boy Advance DS games, so Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Ruby Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, it feels like between all those, like, 10 games, essentially, if you really want to stretch it, that almost feels like a complete package in of itself, really. That between all, like, 4 of these adventures, 4.5 of these adventures, you know, 4 and 2 half adventures, that there was just plenty enough of it to people to be getting on with, and I can imagine by the time Black and White came out, most people by that time sort of had their fun. Again, between the 4 main games and side games, I feel as though I would have been happy had we not really gotten any Pokemon past Gen 4. I mean, obviously there's a lot of Pokemon in the later games that I do like, but I suppose it's just me being an old head again, having sort of references to the good old days when things were simpler in life. Anyways, let's get on this boat. Without enough messing around, let's get on a boat. And then just bang our heads against the wall with Mr. Mime, trying to hit levels up. Oh boy, I get to take my bike. Oh, I can't even take my bike on the St. Anne. Honestly, just so stifling in here. I mean, I'm allowed to run at the very least, which again is something that I feel is super off-putting going between this and, say, Emerald, because obviously in Emerald you aren't able to run anywhere indoors, which, coming back to it after this, I can't help but find kind of annoying. Definitely ride your bicycle on the docks, you will definitely not fall into the water because we're ready to dock. It'll be fine, I'm sure. I'll bury in the trash. I'm more interested in what this is. A single Great Wall. Yo, mon petit, here, out of the way. Probably gonna have to work on my Le France accent. I am the chef. Le man Carson's is all barbecue. Implying that actual eels exist. Again, this is back in the early days when real-life animals actually existed in the Pokemon world, like, you know, eels, Indian elephants, mongoose, if the anime has anything to go by. Too many cooks in this kitchen. Les gars, mute me, I fear. Le mec salmon de salade. Les gars, me gripe and fish again, how there. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I feel as though I should have tried eel at some point in my life, but it never really had the chance. Oh god, the snow cocktail is fluffing raw! I think nowadays it's smoked poke-tail. We gotta get those vegan alternatives in. Here's Spuds. Spuds? They don't call them Spuds in America. Also, what was a Petraberry doing in the Spud bin? What was a Cherry Berry doing in the, Oh, it's a glutton over. And then they get to peel onions. What was a Chesto Berry doing in the onion bin, I gotta wonder? It's a complete mystery to me. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna casually explore the entirety of this boat so we can get more experience for everybody. Wow. Hyper Potion this soon. I kind of forgot that was there. But they haven't been there, so it's like, let's assume. Super Potions. Again, there's just something that I keep coming back to when it comes to Gen 1 especially. There's just so many items just lining up out in the open, and they're usually quite good. It's casually Machoke here. I could probably one-shot that. Super Strong has enough strength to move big rocks. I wonder if we'll get anything akin to that in the future. For now, let's go and fight these sailors. Try not to read anything into a 12-year-old going into a room with, like, 30-year-old sailormen. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I'm sure nothing nefarious is gonna happen. We're all gonna walk out of there and it's all gonna be perfectly fine. I have no idea why I even brought that up. Super weird that even here it's like Mr. Mime is on par in terms of levels with everything. And I suppose I should be thankful at the very least that we are able to level up at a sufficient rate. I suppose that's the trade-off here, really. The Pokemon themselves aren't that great, but they get to level up faster than most Pokemon, so it's probably gonna be fine once we get to the end. Probably. To be honest though, now that I'm thinking about it, not sure how to really change the subject here after that. I've never exactly been sure how to pronounce the nickname for this particular Mr. Mime. Is it Mimian? Is it Mimian? I want to say it's Mimian. Okay, light screen. That's gonna be useful, I suppose. More useful than meditating at the very least. I'm sure it's gonna get reflected at some point, right? Oh, speaking of which, huzzah! We got ourselves a screener. Not sure how long it's going to be keeping these, however. We'll see, we'll see. I'm sure at the very least it's going to be quite useful in some upcoming fights. Just casually set up dual screens and go to town. Say about sailors and battling, actually, I don't know. I'd assume that's more sort of a pirate thing. More sort of assume you're more into the swearing, if anything. Can't help but wonder now that I'm thinking about it. Now that I'm thinking about it, given... Well, technically you are, assumed to basically pick this up on the way to getting Flash. Did they actually intend for you to play through the entire game with it, or is this more so a case of it's in your Pokédex now, you can just lock it in the PC for the rest of time? Again, Mr. Mime seems like one of those Pokemon which is more so for collecting rather than actually using. You know, it's just like there's only one in the game. Do you really have any incentive to use it, though? It's like, obviously, if you're going to use a Psychic type in this game, you're going to use something like, I don't know, Slowbro or Alakazam or Starmie, especially Starmie. Starmie just does so many good things. And granted, it is only in Leaf Green, so... Like, if you got Fire Red, then I guess no Starmie for you, unfortunately. Or Slowbro for that. Damn. I just realized that in terms of, like, version exclusives, I feel as though Fire Red actually gets kind of shafted. I'm just thinking, what kind of version exclusives does it get? I mean, I guess it gets Arcanine. Arcanine's pretty good. Relatively speaking, in terms of fire types, which you don't really need in this game. What's this, I wonder? Ooh, an Ether. Again, it's been so long that I don't necessarily remember what items you get down here. I'm assuming that this game is at least somewhat generous with rare candies. I've known there's some areas at the very least where there's just casually rare candies just on the floor you just pick up. Be like, you know, I'm probably just gonna save this for at the end of the game when I need to level up my mons. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I actually need to do that given the EXP boost all my Pokemon are gonna be getting intrinsically. But look at that. Already halfway to 22. Like, just from doing these, like... I keep saying, like... Just from doing these lower floor battles, already Mr. Mime is going to be on par with the rest of my team. And probably going to be quite useful for going up against Erika, mostly just because all the grass types in this game are also poison types. Okay, so I get rest. I'm not sure I'm going to use that, but it's nice that it's here all the same. Walk in the plank if you... Okay, so you're just gonna straight up kill me. You're just gonna hurl me off the ship into the abyss and so I can get stung to death by tentacles. Your blood is going to be on my hands, sir. I hope you're prepared to live with that. Okay, never mind. I just tossed your Machop overboard instead with the power of my mind. Magical Leaf. I mean, it's a coverage move. It's a coverage move. I will admit, part of me does kind of want to, yeah, let's get rid of Light Screen. Probably gonna regret this, but I feel that in terms of coverage, we are sorely lacking. Magic Leaf's probably gonna be the best we're gonna get for a while. What have you got instead, sir? Hello, stranger. Do I know you? Or my Pokemon are from the sea, don't you know? I shall be the judge of that. Let's see, what Pokemon... Okay, Tentacle, that is indeed from the sea. I would know after spending several hours traversing the seas of Hoenn. You do indeed find tentacles in there. Too many tentacles. I still bear the scars of how many stings I've gotten from them. Can't see them, but they're there. Now, let's try Magical Leaf. This would have been very useful against Starmie. The sea is partially correct. Actually, looking at the overlay on my view, I kind of want to turn off the NTSC FX just to see how it looks. So just don't mind me. I'm just going to put things back to relatively normal. Again, I have to do this individually for every single one of these that I do. So you can see the full glory of the magnificent job Vexay did putting this whole thing together. I really do quite like it. It's just I feel it really adds for what I'm at least trying to go for with when I do these streams. I think it's especially prevalent on the chat box there. You can actually tell what it's supposed to be now. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Even see the grid pattern back there. We'll get you banned off Discord. Because apparently that's a thing now. I mean, from what I've heard of the very least. Also, did a nice little backing figure. I may as well show that off, so I hope you don't mind. There it is. I really do quite like how that looks. It just feels very striking, though I feel as though the logo doesn't work as well when it's not really shaded. Probably should have mentioned that. Oops. Whatever, let's just carry on. Let's just carry on with how this looks now. Again, much appreciated to Bexay for taking time out of their day in order to cobble this together. Wouldn't know what to do without my my incredibly talented viewer base. I am not worthy of any of you. So I do find it's weird constantly that they use just Pokeballs as lures in this universe. I know that they sort of poked fun of that in the anime. It's at one point with Misty having a lure which is just a miniature version of herself, like a Funko of her. It's like, how is the fish supposed to be attracted to that? Yes, you are. Oh, come on now, Phil. You're the one who has all the talent here. None of this would be possible without you. Oh, it's Growlithe. And the main reason why special attackers were mostly superior for most of the history of Pokemon. It really is kind of insane just how, like, centralizing this one ability is. I mean, I suppose there's a couple of centralizing abilities now that I think about it. Sandstream comes to mind. Just with how powerful Intimidate is, just basically being the equivalent of a growl whenever you come into battle. Like, there's no wonder that special attackers generally had a better time of it. It's like, really the only thing which, in the way of special attacks for the longest time has been Blissey. How much appreciated, pal. There we go, level 24. I think we should be, leveling on par with Surge's Raichu now. Let's switch it. I just realized I still have Diglett in my party. Don't worry, Diglett is only temporary. Mr. Mime, on the other hand, is eternal. Okay, casually, just I have my own lady-in-waiting here. No idea what this girl's whole deal is. I mean, think back to Sapphire. It's just a case of there's a bed here, you interact with it, and it's like, oh hey, there's a bed. Let's just sleep in it. Instead, no, we just have this this one girl who's just like, oh, do you want to use this bed I'm constantly stood next to? Here, let me watch you whilst you're sleeping. Feels like you don't tend to get that anymore with the more recent games. Insulin pop? Hey, what do you mean? I'm just trying to get experience. Just trying to become, well, not the greatest trainer, because that'll never happen. You know, I just want to get strong enough in order to plug Gary's hair like a guitar. Okay, I think I found the issue with using Fury Attack. Look at this. Just 3 chances of getting poisoned. Unfortunately, I no longer have to worry about the chance of getting poisoned, so I'm just gonna keep going. Let's see how many crits I can get. Again, it feels as though there's a bit of a missed opportunity that Farfetch'd never got focus energy. It's like, you'd think that with the stick, upping its crit rate, that considering that it doesn't evolve and has stats lower than the likes of Pidgeot and Dodrio, that focus energy and stick would just give it something to work off with, basically infinite crit works. You know, that would actually be pretty fun to use. Just infinite crit works Farfetch'd would actually give it like something to do. Probably a waste using that antidote because considering I can just sleep in the bed with the girl watching me, but it's like I got all these antidotes, I may as well use them, like a cherry pie. You know, cherry pie actually sounds quite nice. Just casually, just Wigglytuff here, the Grandmaster of all things bad himself. I don't want to get on this one's bad side. Childhood Wigglytuff never leave home without. I see. So she is the Grandmaster of all things bad. Yeah, I think there's like a whole ton of trainers in here. I've ever been mountain biking. Again, I'm just reminded of that one meme that I showcased off in the last stream. It's like all the trainees you come across just saying all these random things before getting into like these death matches. And I got poisoned again. Farfetch'd, I feel, is not going to be having a great trip. At least not until it gets Slash. I feel as though with Slash and Stick, at least it'll have something going for it. It's gonna be Farfetch'd. I would say it's gonna be my main normal type attacker in this playthrough, but that would be a lie. Okay, Brick Break. I kind of forgot that you could just pick up Brick Break like that. I feel as though I have to reassess what I give each of my Pokemon, because I feel that Brick Break is going to be quite useful. Again, quite a powerful move for this point in the game, I must say. It's the sort of thing that would really help with walking over certain Magnemites, if you know what I mean. I can't remember whether or not they get Levitate in this game. I don't think they do. Like, I think it's something or Magnet Ball. Let me just double check. It's been a while since I fought a Magnemite in this game, so I may be wrong. It would be something that would instantly make Magnemite good, just being able to get rid of its main. Okay, it doesn't get Levitate. Just gets Magnet Ball and Sturdy, so I don't have to worry about that anymore, so I'm fine just using Dig. Long last, I get to switch over to a Pokemon, which I don't have to worry about getting poisoned all around the world for peace. But it is a lot funny in hindsight, knowing the context of all the other regions that you end up going to in this series. It's like, no way, I went to Spain for these. Oh, you mean Paldea? I traveling all over the world, which probably does include places like Paldea, Unova, Galar, Global Police. Oh, I keep forgetting that the Global Police has basically been a thing since the first game. To think this would come back as this would be a recurring thing basically until the modern games with Looker. It's like something that I keep forgetting, because it feels like it's just something that just pops up, comes and goes, without really much fanfare. It's just like, I'm part of the Global Police, my name's Looker. It's like, okay. And then you just never see him again for like several games. I'm saying that Looker had like a hot streak between like Gen 5 all the way up to Gen 7, so maybe it's just me being wistful about it. I do think it would be interesting if we actually got a Pokemon game where you get to play as like a member of the Global Police. That would be pretty cool. You know, just consider the whole casual trainer malarkey, because I feel as though I've said this previously in the past. I feel part of the reason people are more sort of fatigued with the standard Pokemon formula and feel as though, okay, Swordsmaster. That would be fun. Yeah, I feel as though one like negative stickling point people have for the Pokemon series is the prospect of you played one, you played them all. I feel the main reason behind that is the fact that you are mostly doing the same thing each game, of just going through 6 gyms, fighting an evil team, fighting the Elite Four, and the champion, and then game end, and then go off and catch the legendaries and whatnot. For like, basically since Ruby Sapphire, really. With at least some changes here and thither, but I don't know. I kind of hope that in a future game, and obviously this is never going to happen, but I kind of hope in a future game may get a notably different formula compared to what we've got. And I feel that's part of why Colosseum and XD are so fondly remembered, because they were so fundamentally different compared to everything else. It's like an actual different story, which still has like the core Pokemon mechanics. And everybody really seemed to like that, except those who didn't like Shadow Pokemon, I guess. Well, it's kind of funny. I was just thinking, oh, this is actually going to be quite tough because I'm using all these, like, not really good Pokemon. But I feel so far, at least when it comes to the early game, we're kind of doing okay. I guess that is just sort of the power of Nidoking, really. I feel as though maybe I should have held off from evolving him just to not make this stretch of the game so much of a cakewalk. Because, like, I don't see how we're going to be able to lose against Surge when we have Nidoking. Party's over. Man, damn it, I missed the party. It's absolutely pointless for me to come on the ship now. May as well just go home and just cry myself to sleep. You know, funnily enough, with regards to sort of these cruise liner ship voyages and whatnot, I've only necessarily been on a boat like this ferry, essentially, once. Well, technically twice. It was a there and back trip to France during the during a school trip. I'm not sure if I already went through this story, but from what I remember at the very least, it was at the end of the school day, and it was part of essentially a school trip to France, part of a cultural thing, I guess. We're staying in a hotel essentially for the whole thing. Damn, high school spirit just doing nothing. But yeah, essentially after the school day, we were all asked to basically stay behind in school, and then in the evening, before we were set to depart all the way off to Dover, we went off to see in the theaters Revenge of the Fallen. Which, I'm sure you already have a decent idea as to what Revenge of the Fallen is like. Picture that, because that was, like, essentially one of the highlights of my school days back then. Followed by, essentially, like, an 8-hour or so trip. In a minivan, going all the way down to the coast of Dover. That was, like, one of the highlights of my school days. There's one thing I do definitely remember fondly about... Oh, thanks, Moira. One thing I do fondly remember is that we're getting close to Dover, and... What's your deal, sir? Very far and wide? Okay, so... I it's Boogie. Yeah, I was sitting in the front seat of the minivan, essentially. Everyone else was asleep, and I was still relatively awake, and I was just sitting there, just watching the road up ahead and just watching the sun slowly rise up over the horizon right in front of us. It was... I mean, given how old I was at that time, it really just sort of seemed like a bit of a magical moment, really. Which, I mean, being in a minibus full of people that I wouldn't necessarily call them friends, I mostly just tolerated most of them. I'm sure there was a couple in there that I liked, but I don't remember fully. It was just a whole bunch of people there that I absolutely loathed, but I'd rather not talk about them if I can avoid it. It's like this is like years and years and years ago. This is like 15 years ago as such. I should probably... Anyways. And then we got down to Dover. We got on the ferry. I don't remember too much about it. I think we're just waiting at the dock for the chance to just drive the minivan into the like bottom part of the ferry where all the cars are. And then we just spent the rest of the day sort of tired and bleated, just wandering around on the deck of the... Not so much deck, just various parts of the ship. Mostly just remember there being like a nice lounge area in there. The fortunate thing is that I've never necessarily been on a boat like that ever since, mostly just because my mom gets seasick. Just very seasick, so whenever we go to, like, enemy territory in France and whatnot, we usually take the Channel Tunnel. Well, we used to. I don't tend to get many opportunities to go to France anymore due to scheduling conflicts. You know, they get to go often to visit France and Germany and go on all sorts of minivan adventures while I'm stuck in the office in an endless purgatory. I'm not sure you want to hear this. You know, because I know there's a lot of people there which are struggling to find work, and I should be thankful that I have a job, but at the same time, it's like, just because I have a job doesn't mean I have to like it, you know? I mean, it's probably not in my best interest not to live anytime soon. Anyways, let's see. Small trees can try to... Okay, just talking about HMs. They all seem so dry here compared to a lot of the NPC dialogues and stuff like Delta Room. It's kind of funny. Oh. Don't believe I saw you. Well, no, I arrived late. You know, I wanted to join the party, but unfortunately I had to level up an Abra in order to trade for Mr. Mime. Now you get to see how powerful it is now. Already level 24. Amazing. Again, I do sort of have to be worried a little bit because I know that there's going to be a point where I'm going to reach a certain level threshold and it's basically going to be Charizard all over again, and I'm not going to be able to necessarily grind levels. I feel as though I have to be a little bit sort of strategic with how I conserve, like, NPC battles. Because there's going to be a point where I'm not going to be able to level them up anymore because I'm not going to be able to use them in battle. Plus, it also means an opportunity for other Pokemon that I get further down the line to also get experience, which they might have missed out on. So this is kind of interesting, really playing it this way. We have to be sort of strategic with how much experience you actually get. Really sort of limits what you're really capable of facing, because I know that with regards to this game at the very least, there's nothing really stopping you once you basically hit Lavender Town. Just going all the way down to Fuchsia City, beating Koga, getting Surf, then just going all the way over and doing, like, Cinnabar Island and just cakewalking the rest of the gyms. But it's here, it's like, you can sort of do that, but it's more difficult. Because you kind of have to worry about, like, level caps. It's a more interesting way of approaching level caps now that I think about it in Vanguard, where it's just a hard cap as opposed to a very, very soft cap, where it's like, yeah, you can go above the level limits it's so attributed to you, but you're basically going to be crossing your fingers with every single battle you're in. And you can see Kenzei's office. Okay, so I think, you know, I think we can just go. I think we can just do it. I think we're capable enough in order to beat Gary, who I know is here.
Bonjour, Sten. Glad to see you here. Were you really invited? How's your Pokédex coming along? Already caught 40 kinds, pal. Different kinds are everywhere.
Gary, you know it's impossible to get 40 kinds of Pokemon at this point in the game, you lying sack of fluff.
Roll around in grassy areas and look hard for them.
Alright, look at him looking so smug. He's not gonna be so smug after this. Time for the Merriman. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm a wee bit over level for this. You know what? I'm gonna make this interesting. Have a Leer first. I'm gonna give you a couple of free hits. My back's turned. How about that? Boy, this is probably just gonna be the most humiliating thing for Gary so far. Just getting swept by a Farfetch'd. It's like, this is something that no one would ever imagine. Up until, like, Sword and Shield with Surfetch'd. I will admit, that's something that I have, that's sort of... Oh, there's the Raticate that's about to die. Looking like a croquette. Oh, and the crit as well. I was waiting for that. Oh, Kadabra, you do not have a prayer, sir. Oh. Alright, fair, you got me there. Kind of forgot what I was getting on about, unfortunately. I thought there was something I was about to say, but, wow, Disable basically just doesn't last any time at all. Come on, Farfetch, you can survive, but never mind. Okay, so you aren't getting swept by a Farfetch'd. It's time to make this interesting. Substitute, I think. It's probably not going to be all that useful, but, you know, it's there. It's there. Oh, and that's right, it only has confusion, doesn't it? Or Peto. Oh, and I get a crit as well! You know, he's lucky that he doesn't have... He's lucky he doesn't have a Wartortle, otherwise this would be just the worst run of luck for him possible. Now, that being said... I wonder if the Mr. Mime was bulky enough to tag a Metal Claw like that. Yeah, Mr. Mime, surprisingly, is full of tricks. You know, don't sleep on... Ooh, Encore. You know what? You know what? I want to give that a shot. You know, I just want to troll some poor, unsuspecting trainer into just Encore and Growl constantly. It's gonna be great.
Huh. At least you're raising your Pokemon.
Don't give me that, Gary. You only managed to knock out one of mine.
I heard there was a Cutmaster on board, but he's just a seasick old man. Cut itself is really useful. Yep, it'll be handy. You should go see him too.
I mean, I was about to. He thinks he's so magnanimous for thinking he's helping me out. How to conquer seasickness. The captain's reading this. Oh, Gary got bullied by a mime. Yep. No, yep. Bullied by a mime and a bird carrying a stick. Oh, that's what I was getting on with Farfetch'd. That's sort of something that sort of soured me when it comes to regional variants. Like, it was a cool thing back in Sun and Moon where it's just alternate versions of different Pokemon, but I feel as though once they started adding unique evolutions to the regional variants, things started to get a little bit more messy. It was mostly just supposed to be a case of, oh, it's an ultimate version of a Pokemon which you already like, and now with regional variant evolutions like Surfetch and Obstagoon and Berserker, it's like there's not really much reason to use the originals, or at least less reason to use the originals over the regional variants, which I feel sort of goes against the point. I mean, maybe that's the point, just trying to give all these other older Pokemon a fresh coat of paint. Which isn't as broken as Mega Evolution. Yeah, I shouldn't have looked. Oh, I feel idiots. Seasick. Rub-a-dub-dub, rub-a-dub-dub. It sort of feels like the same onomatopoeia that reminds me more so of the onomatopoeia that you saw with the instructions for a lot of the Nintendo Labo stuff. In and out. In and out. Thank you, I'm feeling so much better now. Want to see my in-cut technique? I'll show you my price cut technique for so well. Oh no, you can have this, it's in machine. Just cut your Pokemon and you use cut anytime. You can drop down small trees. I want to try the trees around very big city. Will do, because obviously I'm going to do what basically everybody does with their Farfetch'd. Teach it cuts. Probably not going to use it, but hey, it's there. A basic attack. I feel at the very least cut would be a little bit more interesting if it shared the same high crit rate as Slash. Like if there was one, I know there's a lot of people that make changes to cut and like ROM hacks and stuff, like maybe making a bug type move. I mean, that's cool and all, but at the very least, I would want to see cut have the same crit rate as Slash. I was gonna say put it in a stew. be so mean, Val. Farfetch'd is an endangered species. You shouldn't be cruel to him like that. Since we're here now that I think about it, one other thing which I have been considering. Damn, I didn't realize Rock Tomb was that weak. Yeah, I was considering giving Rock Tomb to Nidoking. You know, because I figured that it would be nice for some coverage. You know, maybe get rid of Peck. Because I'm not probably going to be used. Or, you know, get rid of Poison Stick, because that's, Damn it, Val, damn it, Val. Yeah, you know, I'm just going to, get rid of Poison Sting. Because I don't think I'm necessarily going to be using any Poison-type moves on Nidoking, because we don't get Sludge Bomb until post-game. So in that sense, may as well give him Rock Tomb, so we have Ground and Rock coverage. I know he's on, like, the best moves, but this is gonna be my best bet, since I'm not allowing myself to get Rock Slide. Like, I know Rock Slide is objectively better in every single way, but I said I wasn't going to go and learn any tutor moves, so Rock Slide is off the table in that respect. Anyways, we got what we came for. Away we go. Off it goes to get capsized in the middle of the ocean. And so the survivors can end up washed up on an island full of giant animatronics. If your anime was unhinged. Because I remember specifically have, like, novelization of that particular episode, and it showcased all the Pokemon actually talking in there, and I didn't get the impression, like, in the anime per se. They all have, like, subtitles on them, so you can understand what they're saying. Something which I don't understand why they haven't done for future episodes. Because I feel it would be quite useful. I'm fairly certain there was a particular episode in Sun and Moon which was just all the Pokemon focused, and they just had the narrator just going over everything they said, and I feel it would have worked a lot better if it was just subtitles. Don't remember if that actually happened yet. Something odd, I especially recall a memory of leaving the SSM before beating Gary had left. Yeah, I don't see how that would happen in any reality. So no... Funny thing right here. Technically speaking, you could just essentially skip the Lieutenant Surge gym and just come back to it at a later point, but I feel just for convenience sake, we may as well just do it now. It's like, we're strong enough as is. May as well get Shockwave. I miss when this guy gave you like fresh water. Yeah, the Fluffer's a bird-type Pokemon. Sir, I have never heard of something called a bird-type. Like, I know that it's in the code for Gen 1 and Missing is a bird-type, but still, I have never heard of a bird-type. We're paralysis, cautious. Oh, he's locked in, you say. Don't worry, I have a Nidoking. This fight is basically free. No place for kids, even if you could. Right there was... Oh yeah, right there with the sound types. Everybody loves the sound type, right? The type that's definitely going to be showing up. Oh. Mistakes were made, I think. You know, I'm just going to go for Fury Attack. What do you mean you're not going for the Thunderbolt, sir? You're level 21. Come on, hit me with a Thunder Shock, damn you. You know you want to. See, you should have hit me with the Thunder Shock, and now you've lost. I'm already at like 25% of my power. Also, yeah, I just realized we're fighting Dwayne Simmons, Pikachu locked within its level 4 Beetle for up intense. This answer will not win the ambiguous Pokemon War. Oh yeah, that is a thing, isn't it? I will admit, as a kid, when Lieutenant Surge meant something about a war, the only... Considering I am British, the only war which I was really taught about as a kid was the one against both of the ones against the Germans, so I was led to assume it was the second one. As opposed to nowadays, considering it's supposed to take place in the 90s, some implied that Surge took part in POKéMON. Now, the war he was sent to was just Vietnam. Unless it was the Falklands, but for some reason I don't think it was the Falklands. Considering, if we have a look outside... Jim here. The Lightning American! Which makes you wonder, what the fluff is an America in this universe? Does that mean he's from Unova? Does that mean he's from Ouray? Because that region is supposedly based off Nevada. Lightweight. American. I'm sort of curious as to whether or not we'll ever get another America region. Now, considering we've gotten like 4 at minimum regions, not including side games based in Japan, you're gonna wonder what sort of region what states in America would make for a good region. Because if it's any consolation, I have no desire to see California in a Pokemon game. I mean, I suppose it would be funny with all the, with having many ground-type Pokemon prevalent, but... You know, given the state of California now, it's something that I don't want to have to put up with. Maybe Texas, but if... I don't know, I feel as though in terms of, like, other states, which, I feel could be interesting regions, the only one which, for some reason, comes to my mind is New Hampshire. No idea why. Welcome to the Yeah, exactly. He was in the army. Which army are we talking about, sir? Just the army. A strict CO, commanding officer, Taskmaster. Can't believe it. Lieutenant Surge was Taskmaster this whole time. I'm also the stunt double in the Taskmaster suit. If Black Widow movies, I need to go by. And it's kind of weird looking at some Pikachu here. It's a lot, I know, I'm more sort of used to Pikachu being a lot paler looking than this. It's like this sort of palette Pikachu is more something I'd expect from its shiny variant. So it keeps, like, throwing me off. Honestly, I think it should be fine. Now I'm just imagining that particular Pikachu just in the jungles of Vietnam. What was he gonna do there with all the Hyper Beams firing off left and right? Who knows? Lights never go flashing on and off. Alright, time for the worst puzzle in the Pokemon series. It was so bad that they actually brought it back in Sun and Moon for some reason. No idea as to why. Yep, nothing but trash. Alright. And just like that, you can see the problem here. I mean... I feel it's better off when it's on the sides like this, because you have less options with regards to where the switch could possibly be. It comes down to a choice of 2 or 3 as opposed to 4. Let's try this. Okay, there it is. But yes, and just like that, we can go fight Lieutenant Surge and get the Thunder Badge. And let's not have Farfetch on the front line for this, shall we? Let me just take a drink. Let me just take a swig. Water.
Hey kid, what do you think you're doing there? Want to live long in combat and know your pretty power? I tell you, kid, let your Pokemon save me during the war. They set my enemies into paralysis. Same will do to you.
I do find it cute that each of the gyms like has the badge as an insignia at the back. Like just there over above Surge, you can see the Thunder Badge. That wacky looking switch badge, we should be some of the trash cans don't shock you. Yeah, lucky, isn't it? Anyways, let's see how Mr. Mime fares against, Lieutenant Surge. Wait, isn't Sonic Boom sound-based? Here, let me check. Let me check. Okay, it's not sound-based. I kind of forgot that soundproof was kind of useless in earlier gens. Whatever. Eat mind bullets. Saved in the war the same way Ash's Pikachu saved him from Barrage to Spearow. I do gotta wonder. What do you... Oh, and of course, go for the super potion. I was sort of curious as to what exactly the body count is for Surge's Raichu. Like, how many confirmed kills does it have? Does it have dog tags? Does it have a rank? Level 18. I'm nearly already 10 levels higher than this Pikachu. I suppose that's sort of the curse of only having like a select handful of different Pokemon at your beck and call. Alright, last one. It's this Raichu. It's the Raichu which is killed. You know what? Let's meet strength with strength. Power versus power. It's like, oh shoot. Not as me. Oh, you. Oh, you. You know, I'm just gonna go Thrash. It's more accurate. And of course I get paralyzed. Why wouldn't I? Yeah, I think that the only thing that I can necessarily do against me is Cricket. Oh, and Parafusion. Fantabby-dozy. It's time to hit the worst of RNG. Am I able to get an attack up? Am I gonna be able to hit a Rock Tomb? Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. Just need him to survive. No, never mind. Of course, he hits himself with confusion because this game hates me. Keeps punching himself in the eye. Lord is surprised and saying he's got to goofy optimize in later games. Which is funny considering he has like a speed of 110. Let's go knock off. Full heal, that's not gonna save you. Not when I can do this. And the crit. Death by Farfetch'd. We win.
Now that's a shocker. You're the real deal, kid. Fine, take the Thunder Badge. Thunder Badge cracks up your Pokemon speed. Also let your Pokemon fly lightning quick anytime, kid. You're special. Take this.
And just like, how embarrassing.
Take the Shockwave. Teach you an electric Pokemon.
I'm gonna teach the Mr. Mime.
No!
Getting downed by a duck. It's more likely than you think. Interesting query now to think about it, because, obviously I have some ideas as to what I want to teach Nidoking. Only question is, I'm not certain as to whether I should teach Shockwave to it or Mr. Mime. The original intent was to teach him Mr. Mime so we could just, basically do the God of War strat of just calm minding on top of everything and just blasting everything with Psychic and Shockwave. Because I'm not getting Thunderbolts. Ash loves the tactics of being the Raichu of this. I mean, to be fair, that was more so just the style points. That was more so just the style points as opposed to me actually doing strategies. It's like, yeah, I know I'm gonna win here. I may as well just go for the style points, just to completely humiliate Surge by technically beating his ace with a flying type. I mean, for all I know, it could have missed and he could have one-shot me with Thunderbolt.
It's me, one of Professor Oak's aides. Did you meet the other aide? He had a package from Professor Oak. He said he'd be looking around you on Route 2. If you're on Route 2, look for him.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to go all the way down to Route 2. Unfortunately, I don't... Do I actually have that many repels? Let me just have a look. 3 repels, that should be fine. Really, the only thing I have to worry about is Dog Trio down here. I mean, I have no doubt it's gonna happen eventually, and it's gonna end up wiping me. Oh, speaking of which, I just had to open my mouth, and there he is, the level 29 Dog Trio. Fortunately, I am actually in a at a decent level so I can actually try and catch it. And of course a nose dig. Don't worry, I can tank this. I got substitute. This like the one time substitute actually comes in use on a casual playthrough. Alright, go for it. Confusion! That's perfect. Now comes the moment of truth. Can I catch the level 29 Duck Trio? Which is here to basically offer you another way of a free Thunder Badge. I'm kind of surprised the Diglett Cave wasn't a thing in the anime. You'd think it would be an obvious thing. He's like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna be able to beat Surge with Pikachu. You know there's a cave over there on the other side of town full of ground types? Seems kind of silly. It is kind of silly in hindsight now what I think about it, because they made Surge out to be just this absolutely super powerful, ruthless trainer in the town, which just has a cave full of ground types next to him, which allows you to just walk all over him. It's like every single trainer ever in the anime is just moronic. Has Root Beer Flip. Nice. Hope it's a good one. I'm guessing it's A and W again. There we go, got the Duck Trio. Not that I'm gonna use it, but I got it anyways. A team of Diglett triplets. It triggers huge earthquakes by burrowing 60 miles underground. I was gonna have to run into it eventually. Let's see, can I make it to the very end of this place? It's not far now. It's not far now. I think all the Diglett got scared because I beat the chieftain. Triplets, the throne. Not again. Not again. A sea of wands of the deadly fates. Give up your children, separate. Bide your time now and wait. Splash and get to Rock Tunnel. Technically speaking, you can get for Rock Tunnel without Flash, but I think just for casual sake, I'm probably just going to. I'm just gonna get Flash. There we go, a whopping 29 types. Contains HM Flash, which unfortunately I'm going to have to teach to Mr. Mime. Rest assured, this is going to come off of Mr. Mime right away. Once we get to Fuchsia. Maybe that would be a good time to teach Shockwave now that I think about it. Because, technically speaking, there aren't actually any dark types in Fire Red Leaf Green. It's like none of the Pokemon are dark types. The only ones I have to worry about are really Magnemite and Magneton. Really would be cool if I could somehow get Fire Punch on Mr. Mime, but alas, this isn't Gold and Silver. This isn't Crystal. We can't get Fire Punch on Mr. Mime. We aren't allowed to have nice things. Caramel. Okay, that sounds damn good, honestly. Me just sitting here wishing I could ever actually try a root beer float. But unfortunately, I'm not American. So instead, we got like Iron Brew, except not really. I will say though, like yesterday, just having this nice sort of outdoor dinner on the new veranda we got, which has like polycarbonate see-through roof. So, you know, it's nice that it still allows light in, but in the summer it basically turns the deck into a greenhouse. But you know, it's nice to just be able to have dinner technically outside. And I'm mostly bringing this up because we had this funky concoction, or at least I made this funky concoction, because we had some like lemon juice, I think it was, like drink like lemon juice in a bottle as opposed to lemon juice which you put on like pancakes and whatnot in various recipes, like an actual like big bottle. And I just mixed that up with some cranberry juice. I mean, it was quite strong, the lemon juice, so I probably could have put a little bit less, but it's generally quite nice. Don't have root beer in England land. I'm sure they have in some novelty areas, but generally no. It's a shame. It's like all the other countries have all these great drinks that I like. You know, like root beer floats, melon soda, secrets of space, mysteries of Earth. Oh, we get seismic toss here. Unfortunately, we can't learn seismic toss. Share a secret someone. I think this chub amber contains Pokemon DNA. If you share a significant breakthrough, this Pokemon will be resurrected. My colleagues just know what I have to say, so I have a favor. Why don't you get this example at a Pokemon lab somewhere? And there we go, we get the old Amber. You know, it was so cool actually coming back here as a kid, not actually to you or whatever. You know what Amber is? No. Amber is actually sap, that could be stuff that oozes from trees. You mean the stuff that Heracross kept wanting to drink from Bulbasaur's bulb in the anime? The engine sap fossilized over time became rock hard amber. Okay, so it's like... I suppose it's kind of a flopped up way to think about it, that, Amber is essentially nature's equivalent of Werther's Originals. Because sap is basically like, tree sugar, essentially. So it's like hardened sugar candy made from trees. I mean, obviously, I'm guessing since we aren't eating amber sweets, it doesn't taste nearly as good as, say, actual Werther's Originals, but it is interesting to think about. The fact that, amber is essentially nature's rock candy. Okay, again, I was about to get the sense of, oh, all the Diglets just ran off because I beat their chieftain. And, of course, they all have Arena Trap. Why wouldn't they? Honestly, I'm kind of surprised in hindsight they didn't go back and make any of the, like, Pokemon from Kanto into Dark types. Like, I feel it would have been very easy for them to make something like Arbok a Dark type. You know, just so they could have something which, is able to block psychic attacks. Give this, whatever you have over there, is hands down more health than anything over here. I mean, I suppose it's sort of the thing. Sure, we don't get stuff like root beer. That's mostly just because I'm guessing over here it's deemed unfit for human consumption. I mean, I could say a whole bunch of things with regards to our government, with regards to their views on humans, but I don't think this is the place for it. Like, aside from just, like, various juices, like, you know, apple, orange, cranberry, etc., it is mostly just a sort of standard soft drinks affair. You know, you got your Dr. Peppers, you got your Conca-Colas, you got your Beepis. Pretty sure it's pronounced Beppis now that I think about it. The consumer is domesticated Miltank. Oh yeah, there's milk as well. You know, just occasionally milk. You know, just to go with, like, our coffees and, toxic material masquerading as tea. Anyways, domesticated Tauros. You don't get milk from a Tauros. At least I'm very sure. Anyways, time to go through arguably the low point of the entire game. Seeing UK Fruit Loops look like, and they're more like cereal compared to the radioactive fruit. Yeah. As far as I'm aware, Fruit Loops in the Americas is basically just candy. It's basically just sweets which are just sort of masquerading as cereal. Whereas over here, when it comes to cereal, all we have is pencil shavings. What have I been drinking then? That's a good question. What have you been drinking? Because I'm fairly certain most of the tea around here, at least the mass-produced store-bought kind, isn't necessarily tea or really fit the human consumption either, but, you know, it's tea, and we all love our tea here, so we drink it anyway, not realizing that it's probably slowly killing us. I don't know. And stuff like that is why I ended up ultimately switching to coffee. Better or for worse. Like, I feel it's only a matter of time where I eventually just bite the bullet and actually try something like a Bang Energy. And then I'm never gonna be able to sleep again. Just look at the stats between these two. Alright, I almost forgot to drop the Doug trio. It's like, oh, that's right, you're in here as well. No idea if you're able to play, but it's something you can show on stream and say. Let me have a look, Because I already have plans for for another user-suggested game, which I should be playing. Gonna be seeing more of that on Saturday. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Whilst I drop off Doug Trio. Let me just have a look. I'm not sure if it's a new thing or not. Let me just quickly have a look. Unless you were referring to Barony. Looks really interesting at the very least. I don't think I'm going to be able to showcase that on stream. I'll watch it later. For now, we have a tunnel to conquer. I'm also kind of wondering whether I should just evolve my Clefairy right away, because it's not like I'm gonna actually be using it. Sitting on. Okay, I see. Yeah, I'll watch it later. This is not gonna be the last time we visit Cerulean City. Oh, so yeah, that reminds me. I'm fairly certain in the Japanese version, the Thunder Badge is referred to as the Orange Badge. I mean, I remember it looking fairly orange. I mean, obviously here it's all grayed out, which kind of feels a shame, because it's like, the whole thing about, the naming scheme of all the towns and all the names of the badges in Japanese at the very least. It's like, you know, it's all the, like, various towns are named after the colors, and all the badges are named after the colors. So they got, like, the gray badge, the blue badge, and the orange badge. Like how this guy never gets his fixed. I mean, I think at the very least they got fixed by the time Gold and Silver rolled around. So he got it fixed eventually. It just took him like 5 years. Just took 5 years to get around to it, yeah. Alright, let's, I just realized I think we might be about to bump into a problem. Let me just check the badges real quick. Because, again, I feel as though we're about to bump into a bit of an issue. It's like already we're bumping up fairly close to level 30, and I feel as though 30 is a... Well, we get Fury Cutter. That's probably going to be more used for the knockoff, honestly. Yes, I know the knockoff is normally used as part of an infinite item trick. I'm not going to be using that for this time being. Okay, let's have a look. Got a list of all the various badges that I can potentially get. I think we're definitely going to need to get the Rainbow Badge soon. Because I think that the Cascade Badge only allows us to go up to 30. Meaning Rock Tunnel is going to be quite treacherous. It's going to be quite treacherous. Also, why do I have 10 viewers? Where did you all come from? Who are you people? I was just here trying to figure out how I'm gonna survive when none of my Pokemon are gonna be listening to any of my commands. So the rare use of Dark Side move, good for ghosts and normals. Well, yeah, but none of the trainers hold items. Summon more viewers. Again, where did you people come from? I was just minding my own business, just casually slaying Bellsprouts. I just realized, I don't think actually... No, I tell a lie. This is going to be probably useful if we come across any Psychic types. Assume there are any Psychic types for us to find. Viewers must stare. I mean, I'm hopefully at the very least that's it. I feel as though Aerial Ace is something I'm going to be teaching Farfetch later. Maybe. I was bored. Oh, we actually found a proper Canadian. They all walk out as we go. No. Please. We're cracking sprouts over here. That's basically reenacting the fate of Prometheus with these small buff dudes. You know, being tied to a rock and being pecked at by birds. I should really stream Portal 2 at some point. It's been a while. I mostly just remember all the jonks. You know what? Nido King has less experience. He could probably tackle the Sonics. It doesn't matter if you got hardened. I'm fairly certain I'm stronger than you anyways. I picked the wrong move. I didn't mean to pelt him with chicken nuggets. Yeah, I think Mr. Mom's probably gonna be the... Fortunate that I kept Magical Leaf for the time being, eh? Fortunate that I kept that around. It's gonna be surreal seeing Mr. Mime essentially becoming the next Charizard of the group. Like, it's one thing you never really expect, basically Mr. Mime to be the disobedient one. Constantly trying to kill me with flamethrowers. Well, maybe not flamethrowers, Magical Leaves, but you get my point. I think it's best that I try to minimize trainer encounters from here on out, just so we can save some for later. The 1,000-yard stare and the smile of a psychopath. Oh, just regular Mr. Mime then. It's like he doesn't look any different to me. It's like nightmare goggles. You put them on and nothing changes. At least over here in Britain. Also hoping that some of you newcomers are enjoying the new overlay. Vexay worked really hard on it. I think this is our first actual interaction with the Venonat now, if I remember correctly. Ooh, down to 1 HP, ah. Yeah, I still find Venonat kind of strange, mostly just Venonat and Venomoth, because and Phyllis already mentioned this, but it really does feel oh, confused. Right, the confusion. You know, it's fine. It really sort of feels to me that Butterfree should have been the evolved form of Venonat, given, you know, they have the same mouth, they have the same eyes, they have the antennas. And then, by that comparison, Metapod should have evolved into Venomoth because it also looks vaguely similar. I mean, I know that it's more ugly, but at the same time, it's like a starting bug. Look at that, all of them just level 27, just teetering on the edge. Like dangerous men. Okay, so I managed to make it to Route 10 without any issues. Again, it's going to be interesting trying to navigate my way through a rock tunnel whilst trying to minimize fights. Probably just gonna have to run from absolutely every single one of them. I mean, not rest assured, I'm probably gonna go back and fight all these at some point. Just, it's probably best that I, try to minimize experience gain until we get the Rainbow Badge.
Look, you think it's me, one of the ever-present aides of Professor Oak.
So, do these aids just appear to every single trainer that gets a starter Pokemon from Professor Oak? Aside from Ash? Okay, so Everstone. Interesting to give me this right away, but I'll take it nonetheless. I mean, we're not going to use it because we have no reason to, but hey. It's neat to have, even though I don't think it has the properties which allow it to transfer nature through breeding yet. I think that was introduced in Emerald. Anyways, here we are. Good old Rock Tunnel. My least favorite area in the game. Wow, just absolutely got rid of all of the darkness in here. I mean, obviously, due to the... Oh, we also get Geodude here. Oh, never mind, I already got Geodude. We don't have to worry about Geodude. like Rock Tunnel. Of course you would, Mr. Contrarian. I mean, it's not the worst, I just feel that one thing I'm not too fond of with regards to Fire and Leaf Green, or mostly the Kanto games, at least starting out, it's just the linearity of it all. Because generally speaking, the game is rather linear up until you get to Lavender Town, essentially. Then, like, you go to, well, I suppose linear up until you get to Celadon. From there, it feels as though it's sort of a hub where things can open up somewhat. Well, I'll say somewhat, but I feel it only really applies once you get the Sylph. Like, once you get the Sylph Scope, and once you get the Poke Flute, the world is your oyster, essentially. Maybe even trying instead of being a back. Well, yeah, that's because you're always coming at me with these contrarian opinions. Oh, it's the perfect opportunity to use Fury Cutter. Let's give it a shot. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely worth using over Peck. See, just give it a moment. Just give it a moment. It's gonna go gangbusters in terms of damage in a sec. See? Works every time. This game has a lot of route freedom, I think it's slightly made for freaking. It's like the route freedom only crops up once you get the Poke Flutes. From there, you can basically tackle the game however you want. Let's put Mr. Mime up front for now. I'm fairly certain he'll be able to sift through any wild Pokemon we find. Crops up. Well, you have no power over me to do that, so... Draw illustration of the Pokemon. I can't believe we found Vel. We found him! What kind of illustrations do you draw, sir? Talk about it. It's not... Yeah, I feel as though this is another instance where you don't want to just hit confusion. I don't know, it feels in terms of stuff we actually fight. Excuse me. I feel as though Magical Leaf might actually have a little bit more mileage compared to Shockwave from Mr. Mime. Because it deals with rock types, it deals with Slowpoke and Starmie. Now those are the sort of only main things which are not hampered by Psychic. What kind of mad people are just hanging out in a cave like this, I gotta wonder. Now, this is like the only through route to Lavender Town, essentially. Put a post-it note on a brick and call it confusion, it works flawlessly. Why would you do this? Why would you use Eevee's Ghost-type Evolution Stone for that purpose? You know I was gonna make that joke. Oh yeah, I think this is actually our first instance of finding a Bulbasaur out in the wild. The thing that's kind of neat, actually. It's like, it's only, I suppose, is mostly due to the lack of Pokemon variety in the earlier games. This feels like one of the few instances where you actually get to see other trainers using the starter Pokemon. I do quite like that. Just, there's one thing that I'm not the most fond of when it comes to the starter Pokemon, is that they effectively just give whoever uses the main character. They're just essentially the main character Pokemon. And anyone who uses them is essentially deemed the main character, and you hardly ever see anybody use the starter Pokemon outside of your rival and plot-relevant characters like, well, Leon comes to mind from Sword and Shield. Just gonna hit him with the Thrash. Oh wow, Bulbasaur kills himself on his find a wild Pokemon like that. It wasn't a wild Pokemon, it was a trainer battle. This is the trainers that actually get to use starter Pokemon here, unlike in the later games, which... Like, one thing that I do kind of miss with regards to the series is something that I've wanted to sort of see. Is just a game where you're just like a normal trainer. You know, there's no, like, evil end-of-the-world plots. It's basically just a simulation of how it is for, like, any normal trainer going through the games. You know, sort of like the anime in that respect. I mean, again, in hindsight, that would be, the most dull, and that's essentially just, this game without any of the Team Rocket elements, but... something that I've wanted to see at least once, and I feel, thankfully, at least when it comes to the fan game side, we have sort of gotten that, so on that front, at least I'm relatively satisfied. It's like I've gone from fan games what I, well, not so much fan games or ROM hacks, but it is a pretty extensive ROM hack. It's probably going to be the thing I stream next, actually. Either that or Coliseum. Let me know what you think. Jeez, it's like... constant landmines. It's like... choices of illusion here. You can either go this way and get into a battle, go this way and get into a battle. Last Pokemon game I play, we have a normal trainer with Sun and Moon. I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily know anything with regards to Sword and Shield, to be perfectly honest. I suppose that's relatively normal, all things considered, even though there's all the stuff with fighting extraterrestrial, like, gods and whatnot. There's that little kettle of fish. I'll see will be lovely in the future, only it's not that crazy motorcycle. Yeah, the motorcycle is pretty iconic. Also seeing the fun little domestic spats between the protagonists Espeon and Umbreon. You know, funnily enough, Coliseum I think was like my second ever Pokemon game. I'm fairly certain this was my third ever one. You know, it's kind of funny because I feel that by the time I got to this game, with all the other media I'd seen between movies and whatnot, and various, like, older supplementary material from the 90s, I feel this was, like, the one game where I finally, like, got Pokemon. As opposed to, bumbling around in Gen 3 thinking, oh, this doesn't look like Digimon. It's like, LEAFGREEN for me was like the first instance of a Pokemon game where I actually understood the task. I understood what was going on. Yeah, we're cutting it pretty close here. Nidoking's already at level 29. It's like who is going? It's like a race to see who will be the team's next Charizard. I like how I just make that the analogy. I mean, I'm not wrong, am I, Mr. Sprite? Yeah, me too. Excuse me, indigested. I really do sort of miss the Sprite art stuff. Part of me kind of wishes we'd go back to it at some point, but Fan Gamer's teaching an official Klonoa. No! No way, it's like, my cabinet is so full of plushies already. It's like, can I... Do I have even enough room for it? I mean, affording it is, gotta make room. Again, those you watching at home, please be responsible with your finances. Because I gotta put him next to the Rollsay plush. It's like a requirement at this point. It's just those two boys just hanging out together alongside Angela Flux and Bansheep. My rabbit with the ears, I think I play one of the rabbit with the the rabbit with the ring. Well, it's debatable as to whether or not Chloe even is a rabbit. Some people call him a cabbit. I don't like how it opens up here. Hey, we finally found Onyx. Level 15, though. Oof. Guess we'll just hit it with the cuts. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. I So I like how you immediately start off with emergency, and it's just like, oh damn, what happened? What could have possibly happened to this like state of emergency? I feel as though you know me too well. Looks pretty funny to me. Ears, jump, physical power ring. Yeah, it is kind of funny now when I think about it. I feel as though I mentioned this before, but I feel as though Klonoa is part of the reason why I'm so into, like, bunnies. Like, there could have very much... Diameter's local Scottish like acknowledge he's not dead. Huzzah! He's not dead! Again, though, I feel as though that could have very easily been, like, an alternate universe, where instead of portraying a rabbit, you're face-to-face with a fox. Imagine the horrors. What about a chinchilla? Probably a fox, though. This fox is a sort of, something which is very much ingratiated in, being British. You know, getting into fights with foxes. Bagfights in different volume as Klonoa is not like... I just love how after the streams we just associate Klonoa with being Scottish. I'm just kinda glad that I didn't do it the Rolson now when I think about it. Can't believe it, Farfetch'd is fluffing dead. Imagine... Yeah, that would have been quite the strange turn of events. Strange, genuine, unusual, collector's own unnatural phenomena. Also, can you get in the ball, please, Onyx, already? Aha! Your screech has no power over me. I'm just gonna keep throwing these at you until you get in, because I don't have any status moves. That's a boy. Attaboy. There we go, get Onyx. Obviously not gonna use Onyx. I really do kind of feel bad about Onyx, because it's like... It's really cool and imposing, but there's really no reason for you to ever use it over something like Ride on a Golem. Just the stats are so bad by comparison. It would have been amazing if the Kitsune monsters in Chapter 5... Yeah, that would have been amazing, wouldn't it? And that being said, we're in the universe we are now, and I still have quite a fondness for the Boopin Snoots. Yep, I'm gonna have to fight this one. You know how you can avoid getting lost in mutants? You can bend twigs to trail markers until somebody moves the twigs. All designed to see, but yes, but Ben is already inundated with various projects that he has to attend to. Okay, I'm already asking too much of him as is. For some reason I wasn't expecting Confusion to one-shot that Jigglypuff. I mean, this Meowth, on the other hand, is basically dead. It's basically dead as soon as it hit the ground. Ooh, I'll happily take Psybeam. I'd buy that for $1. It's like now we're actually getting the cool moves, which we aren't gonna ever be able to use because Mr. Mime's basically going to pull Charizard on us. I wouldn't be quite as worried if Farfetch'd hadn't already fainted. So as it is, it's basically just a race between Nidoking and Mr. Mime. I suppose I don't have to worry too much, assuming we can get to the end. Alright, I have to fight this one as well. You beat my power? Well, sure I can, but it's gonna be like, at what cost? At what cost what did it cost me to beat up this Geodude? Everything. I don't know, but it feels as though we're starting to slow down in terms of experience games, so I might be able to sneak out at least one more fight with Mr. Mime, if we're lucky. Assuming that he doesn't have a Graveler in his back pocket. It cost me Mr. Mime cracks the Geodude in half like it. Oh, and lo and behold, he had a Graveler in his back pocket. Is that a Graveler in your pocket and you just happened to see me? thing. And there we go, level 30. We can no longer use Mr. Mime. I mean, we can, but it's not going to end well. I essentially have an entire team of Pokemon that won't listen to me. Dodged a bullet with that one. And here we are, we finally made it. Okay, that actually took nowhere near as long as I was anticipating. And you could just casually just walk through those trainers and that girl might hit you with the Peaky Blinder special. You always know how to catch me off guard, pal. Now, excuse me whilst I waste all my Pokeballs on this Machop. The Machop, which I am definitely not going to use. He's JoJo posing. So you don't tend to get those sort of poses anymore in the more recent games with the 3D models that just look like they're dead inside. I mean, not so much anymore, but I'm thinking more sort of back to X and Y, Sun and Moon. Runs you a mock fight beforehand, comes with the self-release. I can't believe you do this to me. Anyways, there we go. We got Machop. That wasn't too bad. We got Muscles. What's this item we got over here? We got a Pearl. And of course, there's one more trainer to unwrap things up. You're gonna push Nidoking over the line, aren't you? Please don't. I still have like a ways to go before I'm able to get the Celadon. I mean, at the very least, this has made things a lot more interesting compared to just going for all this normally. 3D models need for Oras when they really need to work going forward to high fidelity games. Yeah, pretty much. I suppose it really is another testament to the fact that a lot of elements of this series really went downhill as soon as Pokemon Go was released. When they realized, oh, we could just put out anything with Pokemon's name on it and people will still buy it. I just one there was something over there in terms of items. Anyways, finally out of this stupid cave! Gonna have to find a way to avoid getting into any points. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Could have gone a lot worse. We finally made it to the scary zone. Yeah, we finally made it. It's time for the it's time for the town with the music that makes you want to go into the Japanese forest of Mount Fuji. For no discernible reason. Don't worry too much about it. I'll be fine. I am having a heart attack. Wait, there's no job too dirty, too heinous, no crime too wicked. I saw Cuba's mother trying to escape from Team Rocket. She was killed trying to get away. I do gotta wonder, how exactly did Marowak die? Because from what I recall in Pokemon Origins, it's implied that they just beat her with, like, stun batons. Even though Marowak is a ground type. Again, it's one thing which I can't help but wonder nowadays. How did Marowak die? I mean, obviously not well, but, like, what was the method? What was the murder weapon? Also, I'm kind of surprised that wasn't like an official merch thing, considering we got Pokemon Monopoly. We could have had like Lavender Town Cluedo. Find the murder weapon for Cubone's mother. It will pay a lot for one. Cram full of Pokemon books. Anyways, it's time for the music. I will definitely say, playing this for the first time, this whole area did indeed kind of freak me out somewhat. Just the tone felt considerably different compared to everything else. Also teamed with the fact that the houses look like coffins. Oh, Superior Pokemon Tower. I think they're the spirits of Pokemon the Rockets killed. Again, just what kind of weapons have they been using? Are they just going around with guns? Do you believe in ghosts? Nah. Like this version of the track as well? Yeah, it's a lot more subdued. Just isn't quite just sort of like dentist drills on your ears. This is the place where I watched my mother perish.
big oof. Look at the ghost. No. Haha, guess not. That one hand in the shoulder, I was just imagining it.
And thus began the creepypasta of Buried Alive. Not quite as eerie, but yeah, it's more melancholy. That's a good way of putting it. Got a whole bunch of stuff to sell now. So much stuff that I'm able to sell. Look at this. Look at all this. Oh, thanks, Mel. Look at all this stuff I'm able to sell. Like Stardust, I don't need that. Got a whopping 20,000 monies as well. Whopping 20,000 yen. Soon to be 30,000 yen if I have anything to say about it. Okay, maybe not. Let's get some more items. Actually, I think it's probably best if I save when we get to sell it on. That pound your head is not. Oh no, it's the white hand. It's come to claim me. Help. I have to remember. I know one of these was the name rater.
Those horrible rockets, they deserve no mercy. Poor Q-Boat's mother was killed trying to escape from Team Rocket.
Implying that Team Rocket members should be shot on sight. And yet this never happens in the anime or otherwise. So can I sneak through here? The answer is no. What's a cute, round, and fluffy Pokemon? Me. You know, I have round elements, I have cute elements, and I have fluffy elements. The fairy is not round, it's more square. It's a star shape. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw chicken nuggets at you. And in saying that, the thing that the Rock 2 sprite always reminded me of is the popcorn chicken from KFC. At least it did back in the day when it was good. I wouldn't know too much about KFC nowadays. But Pokemon doesn't have America-style police officers. I mean, you know it exists, so you never know. I'm not sure what the police officers are like in Unova. Also, thanks to you, I'm finally going to be hitting the Charizard limit on Nidoking here. Am I supposed to have chicken bites now? God, what sick corporate fluff for that was a good idea. Chicken bites, like, ugh. It's so unimaginative, so bland, so... They're not the same. Oh, that's even better. Just take away popcorn chicken, which everybody liked, and just replace it with something worse. Sounds like modern society to me. I do find it kind of fun. Oh, I was gonna say, I do find it kind of cool that there's just a whole bunch of different items you can just find here. Just use Pokemon It is the Thrash Machine, that's right. Unfortunately, it's not a duck. Hey, someone notices Pokemon sucks ass?
Susie, you can't be saying that! All Pokemon have their own values to a team. It's all a matter of how you use them is what makes them good.
Nah, this duck thing just kind of fluffing sucks. You go for after? Okay, so we finally made it to Celadon without any major incident. Not had any common unhealthy American food in well over a year, any kind of takeout. I mean, occasionally we get like a Chinese, but I feel as though just, especially with how expensive things are coming, we just tend not to get that much takeout. Like I feel we only get like chips, for instance. You know, we have a tendency to we really like our chips over here. You know, chips and the occasional Chinese only on special occasions. You Chinese was lovely with some once from it. I wouldn't say bad about the Chinese we have here. We're just, you know, constantly getting barbecue ribs and Cantonese style chicken. That was a Cantonese chicken. Was it Cantonese? I think it was either Cantonese chicken or Cantonese prawns. Probably Cantonese chicken, which is just like deep fried like bits of chicken in like a sugary red sauce. You shouldn't spend all your money on drinks. Try this instead. Finally, we got the fluffing tea. There's more fluffing bloody tea. It was right here in front of me. And now we're back. We're all saved. It sounds like a Magikarp main.
I'm telling you, Susie, all Pokemon have value. I'll show you.
It just uses a team of lower tiers to somehow beat Susie. Most likely by using sleep tactics. Just has every single one of his Pokemon use sleep powder because he knows that's what Susie's weak against. Well, obviously I gotta go up here first. It's not going on the team, but I feel it's kind of obligatory. It's nothing but I don't know, but I wrote on the blackboard. I know the world of Pokemon like your Game Boy Advance. Well, joke's on you, sir. I'm playing this on a Nintendo Switch. Here are your friends enjoy trading Pokemon. I can't. I'm playing this on a Nintendo Switch. It's packed with TMs. There's 50 TMs in all. There are also 7 HMs when you use repeatedly. Silphco. And of course, Pokemon Electric playing with the wireless staff. What channel would you want to lead? I don't think we should read any of this. Instead, let's get Eevee. You just unceremoniously, so there's just an Eevee on the table here. Bold nature. Well, that immediately just sort of indicates what kind of Pokemon I should be evolving it into, but I kind of want to leave it up to you to be brutally honest. Which Pokemon do you think I should evolve this Eevee into? I only have one, and I'm gonna evolve it right away. It's just a matter of which stone do you want me to use on it. I already have a select preference, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the matter. You know, this is like an interactive back and forth. There's no reason for y'all to be shy. As we march over to the settlements. We're not going to be buying any TMs, obviously, because that's against the rules. You know, they're just the arbitrary rules I've set for myself. And this... And look at that, Eevee's actually on a comparable level to the rest of the party. Again, we're not going to be using Eevee, it's just for the sake of completing the Pokédex, really. Just trying to get every single Pokemon which is available to me on this particular copy. I'm just gonna get most of them off stream, however. Let's see what we got over here. Okay, this is the TM section. Gonna be avoiding that like the plague. What have you got, sir? Okay, this is the sort of stuff we're looking for. Let's get some more Great Balls. We'll get 20. We'll get a couple of revives. Lovely. Not gonna bother with super potions anymore. Not gonna bother with awakenings anymore. Probably should get some burn heals. A couple of super repels would be nice. It's like I'm actually going shopping as opposed to usually where I just dump all my money into Pokeballs. Alright, finally finished Poke. What is this complete shattering of any sort of diegetic element of this game? Implying that Pokemon is a game in the game. Who haven't given mind his count. Nope, not gonna learn. Nope, we're not interested. Come see me if you change your mind. Can't Pokemon registered with an ID number and the original trainer. What he says for original trainer. Yes. And we just casually have all these like Super Nintendos on it. It's a Super NES. No, it's a Super Nintendo. Identify Pokemon. Yeah, ID numbers. What are you doing hogging the Super Nintendo? Come on, Haunter. I love Haunter. I collect them, huh? Haunter turned into a different Pokemon being traded. Unfortunately, I cannot do any trading here. Alright, my buddy's gonna trade me his Kangaskhan for my Haunter. Seems like the kid getting the Haunter's gonna get the better deal. Again, it's super weird seeing this 2004 game still having, like, Super Nintendos up here. Like, it's especially funny considering in Ruby Sapphire, both houses have the main character owning a GameCube. So they could have easily put the GameCube sprite here instead, but no, they had to commit to the bit of having Super Nintendos here, so you know for a fact this is the 90s. Your person, my girlfriend, I guess Pokédoll will be it. Okay, so... Waterstone, Firestone, Retro Mail, Pokédoll. This is Pokemon World from Game Boy Color to GameCube to Super Nintendo. I'm led to assume this game came first, so this is before the GameCube came out in the Pokemon world, so this is definitely like in the late 90s, the early 90s, then Wii U and then Switch. Oh yeah, there was the Wii U in Ultra Sun. You know, I'm just gonna get the Waterstone. Actually, now that I think of it, I can get a Thunderstone and a Water Stone. Just have to, look something up a little bit. Okay. Maybe just having an existential crisis as I loom over with the Water Stone. Hey guys!
Did you know that in terms of male human and female Pokemon breeding, Furry is the most comparable Pokemon for humans? Not only are they in the field egg group with the most comprised of mammals, they are an average of 3'3", 3'3" tall, and 63.9 pounds. Large enough to be able to, well, you know the rest.
Not cut the feet. Yeah, we just went with Vaporeon. Of course, I didn't have to, but maybe it's like those D&D jokes that were before, because having the roleplay as humans working in an office. Why was Vaporeon always so green? I think it was in the older games. Like, it got blue washed in the later games. It's more sort of overtly teal here. What you thought the games are just like in a setting where actual fire-breathing monsters who you could be friends with. We do live in strange circumstances. Also, I don't remember Poliwhirl being so purple. Correction, Poliwrath being so purple. You know what comes next. He's been sitting in the box waiting this whole time. Get out of here, you. Fortunately, you're not going to be able to look Thunderbolt for a while, but, it should be fine. Nah, it'll be fine. Here he comes. You knew this was coming, Pete. There we go, got Raichu. I'm not sure I've already gone over this story with regards to Raichu, but, Raichu was one of the first Pokemon I saw when I first played. Like, my first, ever interaction with Pokemon ever was the Monopoly game, weirdly enough. I just remember immediately garnering a fondness to Raichu because it reminded me of, Gargomon/Terriermon. So I remember, when I got Pokemon Sapphire, desperately, when I eventually got a Pikachu, desperately wanted to try and find a Thunderstone in order to evolve. Like, I leveled up to, like, a fairly ridiculously high level before I realized, oh, there's a Thunderstone in Morphle. Did you Digivolve fill it? Yep, it's more likely than you think. Yeah, I could have sworn there was something over there. Alright, it's time to get the stuff we need to go gambling. I feel this is like the only restaurant in the game. Look at that, we got curry and we got omu rice. I might get the stomach ground. Yes, it's curry. It's based on... Yeah, it's like you can see there's some greens on the side, there's the rice, and there's the curry on the left over there. And here, of course, we got omu rice, presumably with what looks like peas. Could be something else. I'm assuming it's omu rice because of the yellow thing and the red smear is probably ketchup. Man, I'd say what's all of the slot. And then we just got this guy who he's just got a big mug of beer. It's covered with a Pokemon mark on it. I mean, that just looks like a big, like, pitcher of beer, doesn't it? Like, it's even got the foam on top. Go ahead, laugh, I'm flat, I'm busted. Almost lost me, I'm going straight into alcoholism. Yeah, won't be needing this anymore. There we go. Just casually, well, I can't believe it. Even back in the 90s, they were endorsing child gambling. And then again, considering, arcades over in Britain, that's sort of not really a surprise. I'll have to go to the drugstore in order to give him drugs. Taking a break right now. Man, I want to get some armor ice. I feel it's sort of something that I feel is a bit of a missed opportunity when I visited Japan, honestly. The fact that I never got to try armor ice. 2,000 more Pokemon slot prices, that's not good. Yeah, such a real in the old big time. I'm surprised this guy never got arrested. There's no secret switch behind it. Whatever you say, buddy, whatever you say. Did Mr. Slot Machines in the Pokemon Casino? Well, yeah, but we're not allowed to have casinos anymore because it's gambling. It's like it's rated 18 for gambling, and yet games with loot boxes weren't rated 18 for some reason. I don't really get it. Anyways, I guess we may as well go beat Erika real quick so we can actually use our party.
Yeah, this gym's brain is full of women.
Well, yeah, no. Well, you don't know that. If the anime is anything to go by, then there could be some cross-references in there. It's like, I remember that episode. Alright, and the coach guy back here, he's not allowed in as a result. I think we have to fight at minimum 3 trainers here. Yeah, I do know of that episode. The episode that launched 1,000 fan artists. Okay, I think we should be able to make it. Again, I feel that Erika's going to be a little bit sketchy, considering none of my Pokemon are going to be obeying me. Well, cross-dressing episode in the Pokemon, we aren't going to get the same episode. Yeah, there were quite a few cross-dressing episodes, like... I'm surprised how many times James was willing to cross-dress, like, especially in the band episode. Which, by that logic, would that also mean that I am banned from Pokemon as well? It's interesting to think about. Also, here's the Rainbow Badge. The only badge that retains its original name from the Japanese. Pleased to meet you. My hobby is Pokemon training. As opposed to, like, flower ranging, which is something I would expect from this place. Okay, that's pretty neat, starting over with Execute. James really upset Misty a bit, he sounds like... Well, yeah, he was like the best character in the series. When he was allowed to be a character. Also, yeah, Fury Cut is good. Of course, you have Hypnosis. I'm not allowing myself to use items in battle, that's cheating. A set of Reflect as well, why don't you? Just make my life all that more difficult. Oh, and Leech Seed as well. Oh, it's even better. I'm gonna wake up eventually and then you'll be sorry. I'm gonna crit you and you're gonna be sorry. It's definitely worth using. This is like a 4 times effective move against you. I know for sure. I'm gonna get you eventually! Just one more hit's gonna do it, I swear. Not so smug now, are you, when your hypnosis is missed? It's like one more turn, it's over for you. See? Got there in the end. It was definitely worth just bringing Fury Cutter for this. Fury Cutter is such a good move. Oh, splendid. Alright, time to heal at Farfetch, so I have a chance at this fight. And now that I think about it... Actually, I think it would be best if I just fight her now. I was gonna say, maybe I should teach it Fly, but nah. Hello, lovely weather, isn't it? It's so pleasant. Oh dear, I must have dozed off. Welcome. My name is Erika, I'm the leader of Celadon Gym. I'm a student of the art of flower ranging, I remember. My Pokemon is solely of the grass type. Oh, I'm sorry, I had no idea you wished to chat with me. Very well, but I shall not lose. This would be where Venusaur normally falls off in terms of usefulness. Now look at this, we got a big tree bell here. How am I gonna fare against this? Same as every other grass type, I guess. I mean, obviously, she's not gonna make it easy for me. I'm gonna hit you. I'm eventually gonna hit you with another peck, and you're gonna have to move on to. Oh damn! Yeah, I think this is gonna be tough. Oh, And of course you have hyper potions. Why wouldn't you have hyper potions? Yeah, I'm gonna have to resort to Mr. Mime here. Come on. It's time, Mr. Mime. It's time for you to, Actually, wait a minute. Does the obedience limit go... start at 30, or does it start at 31? Let's find out. Okay, I think it starts at 31. I think we should be fine. Look at that. Look at that. It's like night and day comparing Mr. Mime with, comparing Mr. Mime with Farfetch'd. Let's have a substitute while we're here. You know, just to be funky. Let's see if we can get past my gargantuan special defense. I thought not. I know for a fact that you have low special defense, so goodbye. Yeah, just Mr. Mime, man. Gargantuan what? You heard! Gargantuan special defense. And the Ace's File Bloom, which I could just click. Yeah, special defense. Okay, so you didn't one-shot me. The power of the substitute. I finally get to bypass your status antics. Beautiful. Mr. Mime already putting in work.
I can see defeat. You're remarkably strong. I must confer on you the Rainbow Badge.
There we go, the Rainbow Badge.
It makes Pokemon up to level 50 obey. It also allows Pokemon to use strength in and out of battle. You still also take this with you.
This implies at some point that you won't be able to use HMs in battle unless you have the respective badge.
TM19 contains Giga Drain. Half the damage it inflicts is drained to heal your Pokemon. Wouldn't you agree that it's a wonderful move?
Well, obviously I'm going to be using it on another Pokemon we're getting, but that's not going to be for a while. Just thinking, looking at the time. Do you think now would be a good time to sort of leave off, or should we carry on for a little bit? Because I think that in terms of Pokemon that we can get / trade for, I think we're just gonna be stuck with VTuber for a little bit. I mean, we could potentially just go all the way down to Future City at this point. Just casually get Surf and then go to Seafoam Islands and then casually start picking up more team members, because it is kind of funny that half of my team is easily gone in the first half of the game, and the other half is just relegated to the second half of the game. So I'm basically just stuck with half a team for the most part. First things first, I should probably get Fly. That's going to be quite useful, and probably the best flying type move I'm going to be able to get on my Farfetch'd.
Did you get a good effort?
I mean, it was fairly easy. I just jumped a fence. See, this seems like somewhat antithetical to the usual nature of 10-year-olds. They're always willing to jump fences, even if they are like white picketed ones like that. Got a Furry here, nice.
Oh dear, you found my secret retreat. Please don't tell anyone I'm here. I'll make it up with you with this.
I'd like a secret retreat like this, just out by the coast.
TMO2 is flights. A wonderfully convenient move. Please put it to good use.
I will! Because finally we have unlocked fast travel. I have no reason not to put this on Farfetch'd. Look at this. The damage difference is night and day. I know it's a 2-turn move, but so is Dig. I'm getting plenty of mileage out of that. I'm just thinking, I'm kind of curious as to what other moves I could teach my Pokemon, because part of me kind of wants to hold off on teaching Farfetch'd Aerial Ace. You know, because I'm probably just going to be using Fly as my stab move more often, and kind of feels like a bit of a waste. I mean, maybe I'll teach it Aerial Ace once we once we're able to get to future and able to get rid of cut on it. Maybe. Sometimes the intensity of a love scares me. I do quite like the sprite for these goblins. It's cute. Okay, Rapidash and Ninetales. That's a pretty neat combo. Even if I can easily just defeat it with Mr. Nito here. Here comes Tom. I swear, the situation whenever I exit a menu always seems to come to a maximum whenever I again exit a menu. So it's like the saturation just flashbangs me constantly. I'm just gonna go for the Rock Tomb. I'll hit you eventually. There we go. Eat popcorn chicken. I know, maybe just me using it in more later games, but I kind of feel the Rock Tomb gets a bit of a bad rep. It's like, it is a free nifty move, especially in double battles like this, where you just have access to free speed control. I mean, obviously, most people just tend to use Rock Slide instead, because, you know, just spread damage is king and, you know, the flinch chant, but... I don't know, maybe it's just the nostalgia speaking. I do have a bit of a fondness for Rock Tomb. Saying that as it constantly buried my Torchic back when I first played Sapphire. I really should have gone with Mudkip. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to switch it to Mr. Mime again. I am curious as to whether Supersonic counts as a sound-based move in this game. I mean, not that it matters, it's using Confuse Ray. King, can you please hit it for once? Is Mr. Mime gonna have to do all the work here? I certainly hope not. It's like, no, Mr. Mime just like nobody else helps me do the dishes in this fluffing house. Wonderful. And we all got experience, lived happily ever after. This one there was a unique encounter in the grass over here. Like maybe a Doduo or something. Oh, yeah, I just remember we can't even get to Fuchsia City yet because we need the PokéFlute. Let's see, should we do the PokéFlute now or should we save that for next? There's Doduo. Yeah, should we save doing the Rocket Hideout and doing the PokéFlute for next stream, do you want it? Because I know it's going to take a little bit. Farfetch'd is bored to suffer. One, two, three. There we go. You know, in terms of Pokemon in this game, I feel that Doduo is genuinely slept on. Because I remember using it back in a playthrough of Blue, and I will admit, even though it only had like 2 moves it could use, like Body Slam or was it Ivy Beam and Drill Peck, it was really good at using those 2 moves. In terms of stats at the very least, I'd go as far to say Dodrio is like the best of the regular flying types you can get in this game, at least compared to Spearow and Pidgeot. It's one of those things that makes me wonder, maybe it's just an arbitrary thing with Gen 1, but I feel there was still a fair bit of bloat here in regards to just in terms of like duplicate Pokemon. Like we got Caterpie and Weedle here, which basically just go through similar evolution processes to become slightly different Pokemon. Then you got Doduo, Spearow, Pidgey, and Farfetch. Just like 4 different normal flying types. And stat-wise, there's only really one correct answer you want to be using for all intents and purposes. I mean, yeah, you can use Pidgeot because you get it early on in the game, but it's not as good as Dodrio. Yeah, you know what? Given the time, I think now would be a good point to rest up for now. So tune in next week when we go gambling. It's gonna be great. Anyways, thank you all very kindly for tuning in to this, and I hope to see you for more Pokemon Day antics next week. It's been fun. Take care. Bye for now.